All right, so one more thing that I want to touch base with you about this week, and that's going to be your next assignment, the audience analysis paper. So that's going to be posting for you soon, and I kind of wanted to go through it with you just to help you feel a little bit more comfortable and maybe provide some extra guidance for anything that may have been confusing in the assignment guidelines. So your audience analysis paper is basically going to have two parts. On the original syllabus, I listed that the entire paper is going to be due this week. However, after the self-introduction speeches, I feel that it's going to be most beneficial for you students if we break this assignment up into two parts and have your final paper due next week instead of this week. So essentially this week, you're only going to be responsible for a few things regarding your audience analysis paper, and those are listed on your assignment guidelines as well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go over the entire assignment so that you have an understanding about what it is. And then I'm going to go over part one and what's going to be required of you this week. So let's get started. Effective public speaking does require that speakers consider the various characteristics of the audience and utilize those insights during that audience analysis to develop and present their speech. So we've talked about audience analysis, and what this essay is going to do is give you an opportunity to conduct an analysis of the audience in the class that you are in. So this may be a little bit difficult because you're in an online environment, but that part's going to come into play too. So basically what this is a 3 to 4 page paper. So you'll have a cover page, 3 to 4 pages of writing, and then a reference page. And you're going to conduct an audience analysis on the class that you are in. So number one, there's 3 parts you're going to need to have on your final paper. Number one is an analysis of the online classroom audience, including a description of selected relevant characteristics and how those characteristics may affect the audience's reception of speeches you are planning in Comm 1. The second component should discuss techniques that you would utilize when you're developing or presenting your virtual speech to the students in our class. And I also want you to take specific audience characteristics that you discussed in part 1 into account. So let's talk about what audience characteristics may look like. We have demographics and psychographics. So one demographic that I can assume all of you have in common is that you're a college student. Now with that analysis, something I might write in my essay is that if I focused on budget saving tips, I think that is pertinent to most, if not all, college students. So that might be an interesting, informative speech on how to save money or how to budget, because most of the audience members in this class who are college students are going to have an interest in that or have some experience with that. So that's kind of an example of what one demographic of the audience looks like, as well as a technique that I would personally use when I present and develop my speeches in the class. So for this part 2, I want you to ask yourself, what methods or strategies could I use to keep the virtual audience engaged? Now, the third component that you're going to need to focus on is some consideration of the limitations or potential problems that may accompany conducting an audience analysis when presenting a speech to an online audience. So you need to have these 3 components in your paper. I don't care how long each one is. All of your papers are going to look different. All of your papers are going to talk about different aspects of audience analysis, but that's where you have the freedom to go through chapter 6 and choose what information is most interesting and pertinent to you and your life and your audience analysis in this classroom. So the only reference that you need to have for your audience analysis paper is the class textbook. And remember, I provided you those APA formatting documents, which have the class textbook already cited for you, both in text and in the reference page. So do take advantage of those documents. I'm doing the work for you there. So you can include additional research if you wish, but it is not required. And remember, all paraphrases and quotations must be accompanied by an in-text citation. So this essay is going to be an essay form. It's not a speech, it's an essay. It's going to have a distinct introduction with a thesis statement and a preview of the organization of the paper's main points. You're going to have a body and a conclusion. It needs to be approximately 3 to 4 pages of written text, and then once again follow all APA formatting requirements. So remember, in the beginning of this video, I stated that your audience analysis paper is going to have 2 different parts. Part 1 is going to be due September 20th before 11:59 p.m. So the first part of your audience analysis paper is going to be included in Module 3's assignment, and it's going to require you to turn in a draft of your audience analysis paper. This is going to allow me, your instructor, to provide you with some feedback about how to improve for your final paper. So this draft needs to include 4 parts, each equaling 5 points, which totals 20 points for part 1 of your audience analysis paper assignment. So this week you are liable for 20 points out of 100. Next week, your assignment, part 2, is worth 80 points. So you're gonna need to have 4 things for part 1. You need an APA cover page, and you can click here for the document that I've provided you, where you can basically exchange the information provided with your information. That's the first thing. The second thing is 1 written page of your audience analysis paper. Sorry about that. The second is the 1 page of your audience analysis paper with 1-inch margins, Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spacing, etc. So you need 1 page of your audience analysis paper written. I don't care if that's the introduction, the conclusion, the body. You just need to have 1 page. Some people do best starting with an introduction because it provides some boundaries for your paper. I like to start with the body because I don't like to put myself in a box. So if you just kind of have some things written down, some ideas and thoughts, as long as it's 1 page double spaced, you'll meet that second requirement. The third is a reference page with the textbook listed. And then remember, I did provide a sample and another video going over that sample. So please make sure that you are watching all of the content in your modules. The fourth and final requirement for part 1, any questions that you have about the audience analysis paper, I would like you to list those in the comments section of the assignment portal. So this portal allows you to upload a document as well as type some comments. And if you have questions written down, type those in the comment box so that I can go over those with your feedback for week 3. And you can implement that into your audience analysis paper so you'll do a banging job for week 4. So remember, the final draft of your audience analysis paper is not going to be due until September 27th before 11:59 p.m. Essentially, there's 2 parts to this assignment, and the part due this week is only the first draft requiring these 4 things. So if you do wish to complete your entire paper this week, which I highly recommend to do, because then you'll be set for next week, you're a rock star, and I'm going to be more than happy to help you and read through your entire paper and provide you feedback. So remember, if you have any questions, please email me, and I will be available during my office hours tonight. Thank you.